Imagine sipping your morning coffee, enjoying the peace of the wilderness when suddenly the unthinkable happens. In the heart of Arizona, one quiet morning turned into a nightmare. A neighbor gone, and a bear's wild nature unleashed. Today we dive into the chilling story of survival instincts and the unpredictable danger that lurks in the great outdoors. Welcome to Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, where the wild meets the unexpected and humans are forced to confront nature's raw power. Today's episode takes us deep into the quiet town of Prescott, Arizona, where the tranquil beauty of the wilderness was shattered by a deadly bear attack. It's a story of fear, bravery, and the unpredictable danger that lies just beyond our doorstep. On a calm June morning, 66-year-old Stephen Jackson was enjoying his daily ritual, sipping a cup of coffee, taking in the peaceful surroundings of his dream cabin. But out of nowhere, a black bear, a healthy 360-pound beast, attacked. The attack was swift, brutal, and unprovoked. The question still haunting everyone in the town is why? What could drive a bear with no apparent reason to kill? In a desperate race against time, Jackson's neighbor David Montano heard frantic knocking at his door, followed by the words that would change his life forever: "A bear's got Stephen, grab your gun!" Montano acted fast, but by the time he reached the scene, the bear had dragged Stephen over 75 feet down an embankment. David's gunshot stopped the bear, but tragically it was too late for Stephen Jackson. With bear encounters on the rise, especially in regions like Prescott, where sightings of both bears and mountain lions are becoming increasingly common, what are we to make of this? Why are these attacks happening? And more importantly, how can you protect yourself in such encounters? If you're fascinated by the dangers of the wild and the stories that unfold when humans and animals cross paths, you've come to the right place. We've got a gripping story ahead, packed with insights and lessons that could one day save your life. Before we dive in, take a moment to like this video if you're ready for today's harrowing tale. Make sure to subscribe to Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a story of wildlife encounters that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Don't forget to share this with friends and family. And we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below if you have experiences of your own with wildlife or questions about this case. And now, sit back, enjoy, and remember, the wilderness is always watching. Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, where survival meets the savage truth of the animal kingdom. The attack on Stephen Jackson was as sudden as it was terrifying, a brutal reminder of nature's unpredictability. On a quiet June morning in 2023, the 66-year-old was doing what he loved most, sitting outside his cabin in the serene hills of Prescott, Arizona, sipping a warm cup of coffee. The early morning sun bathed the landscape in a golden glow, and the air was still and peaceful, save for the distant sounds of birds chirping in the trees. Stephen was at home in this environment. After a life of hard work as a contractor, he had chosen this isolated spot to build his dream cabin, where he could enjoy the simplicity and tranquility of the wilderness. It was a place far removed from the bustle of the city, where he could wake up to the sight of the mountains and listen to the wind rustling through the trees. But on this fateful day, that peaceful routine would be shattered by a nightmare that no one could have anticipated. Without warning, a large black bear emerged from the dense woods surrounding Stephen's property. Unlike the rare sightings of wildlife Stephen had experienced in the past, this was not a fleeting encounter. The bear, weighing over 360 pounds, was an adult male in prime health, with no injuries or diseases that could explain its behavior. The bear's sudden appearance was a shock. There had been no food left out, no garbage to attract it, and no signs that Stephen was in any immediate danger. It was a scene that wildlife experts would later call unprovoked. The bear attacked with no warning, no growl, and no hesitation. In an instant, the bear lunged at Stephen. The powerful animal charged with astonishing speed, knocking him from his chair and dragging him to the ground. It was a vicious, savage attack. The bear's massive paws, armed with sharp claws, ripped into Stephen's flesh, while its powerful jaws clamped down, crushing bones and tearing through muscle. The bear dragged Stephen 75 feet down a nearby embankment, pulling him through the dirt and underbrush as it continued its relentless assault. In those terrifying moments, Stephen must have fought for his life, but against such a force of nature, survival was impossible. The sheer strength and speed of the bear overwhelmed him. His screams echoed through the trees, shattering the morning calm. It was those screams that caught the attention of his neighbour, David Montano, who lived nearby. David had been inside his home when he heard a frantic banging on his door. When he opened it, he was greeted by a neighbour in a panic, shouting, "A bear's got Stephen, grab your gun!" In a heartbeat, David sprang into action. The horror of the situation was still sinking in, but he knew he had no time to waste. Grabbing his rifle, he raced out of his house and ran toward the sound of the attack, his heart pounding as he approached the scene. By the time David arrived, the bear had already dragged Stephen far from where the attack had begun. The sight that greeted him was one of sheer horror. Blood stained the ground, and the bear was still hovering over Stephen's lifeless body, a terrifying display of raw power and aggression. With his rifle in hand, David did the only thing he could to stop the animal. He took aim and fired, his shot ringing out through the forest. The first bullet hit the bear, but the massive creature did not immediately fall. David fired again, and with the second shot, the bear collapsed. The threat was neutralized, but the damage had already been done. Despite David's quick response and his brave attempt to save his friend, it was too late. Stephen Jackson, the man who had spent his life respecting and loving the wilderness, had succumbed to the injuries inflicted by the bear. His body lay still, and the peaceful morning he'd been enjoying just moments earlier had turned into a scene of devastation and loss. Emergency responders and officials from Arizona Game and Fish arrived at the scene shortly after the attack, but there was little they could do beyond documenting the tragedy and investigating what had gone so horribly wrong. The bear's body was tested for diseases or injuries, anything that might explain why it had launched such a violent, unprovoked attack, but the results came back clean. The animal was in perfect health, leaving wildlife experts perplexed. The question on everyone's mind was why? Why had this seemingly healthy bear, in an area with no food or garbage to attract it, attacked Stephen Jackson so ferociously? No answers emerged, and to this day, the attack remains a haunting mystery. It was a brutal, senseless tragedy that left the Prescott community in shock. Stephen Jackson's death marked a rare but stark reminder that despite our best efforts to understand and respect wildlife, nature can still be unpredictable and dangerous. Even in a place as peaceful as the Prescott Hills, the wild remains untamed. And sometimes, tragically, it shows its most savage side. As we close this chapter on one of the most haunting and tragic encounters between man and nature, we're left with a powerful reminder. The wilderness is as breathtaking as it is unpredictable. The story of Stephen Jackson's untimely death forces us to confront the reality that, despite our understanding of the natural world, the wild has its own rules that can shift without warning. We hope this story has given you valuable insights and perhaps even made you more aware of the delicate balance between humans and the wild places we love to explore. Here on Savage Tales, Animal Encounters, we dive deep into stories just like this, gripping encounters with the raw and untamed side of nature. From predator attacks to near-death experiences and heart-pounding survival tales, we aim to share these extraordinary stories while also providing vital tips on how to stay safe when adventure calls. If you're fascinated by the beauty and danger of wildlife or want to learn more about survival in the wild, you've come to the right place. Before you go, we have just a few important things to ask. If you found this story as powerful as we did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps get these stories out to more people who are passionate about wildlife and wilderness. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, so you never miss a future episode. We've got more thrilling and intense encounters coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when a new story drops. We'd also love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts on this story. Have you ever had a close encounter with wildlife? What do you think about the rising number of bear encounters in places like Prescott? Your stories and feedback help keep the conversation going, and we're always eager to hear your perspective. And don't forget to share this video with friends, family, and anyone who loves a good wilderness tale or needs to be reminded of the importance of safety when interacting with nature. We want to extend a huge thank you for watching today's episode. Your support means everything to us as we continue to bring these real-life stories of animal encounters to light. Whether you're an adventurer, a wildlife enthusiast, or simply someone who appreciates the beauty and danger of the natural world, we're grateful to have you with us on this journey. So until next time, stay safe out there, stay aware of your surroundings, and remember, the wilderness is always watching. This is Savage Tales Animal Encounters, where survival meets the savage truth of the animal kingdom. See you in the next episode.